Terre Haute, Indiana.
Yeah.
We know Dane. We know exactly who that is. Dane, where you at, Dane?
Where's Dane?
Dane Farrah. What's up, guys?
Dane wants to know, what's the worst non-music job you've ever had?
Ooh.
I was a waiter at Red Lobster. And
Tell us about that, Paul.
well, I survived on that cheese bread kind of thing. It's about all, because that's all I could afford because I made very little tips. Oh no, I was shitty at it. I was really bad.
You mean the people at Red Lobster weren't rolling deep?
I did spill a really, really big tray of drinks on a very understanding group of people on their lunch break. So I did do that.
Sounds pretty cush compared to mine, but go ahead.
What was yours?
I assembled grain dryers. Okay.
That's
and
some
of course,
Indiana shit right there.
That's some Indiana
that is some
shit.
serious Indiana shit right there.
Which
You
is
know what
appropriate.
he's talking about.
Which is fucking appropriate. It's like a hexagon-looking thing that is probably 100 feet long, right? And in the middle is where all the grain is, and there's these little, in the hexagon areas on the end, somebody has to go in and tighten the bolts to hold the outside of this hexagon screen in there that allows air in. And because I'm a skinny guy, I was that guy. So I would get, and you would get trapped in, halfway in as you do a pull, so you're squeezing yourself along, trying not to cut yourself with the screws that are coming. You're attached to the
How old were you at this time?
No air conditioning in the place. I don't know, 18,
Wow.
17, 18, something
You
like
win.
that. Literally was like the worst job ever. Okay, go.
Well, I did a lot of construction stuff, but the worst one was probably I was a roofer in Florida. That's some hot
It really sucks.
shit. And I used to. And here's the thing, like I sucked at it. Obviously, look at me. I'm not built for
I gotta
that.
say, I had a pretty good job.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
Thank you for the perspective.
That was the
of
worst
my
job
life.
you had? Yeah, totally.
Wow.
You were
guys had it rough.
you were slinging
I would've-
shrimp, dude. Oh, poor you.
And I got free bread.
Dude, I would have killed for Ponderosa, dude. No, seriously.
All right, Mary from Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Back
Should we
there.
be worried about Pookie, by the way, at this point?
And he's taking this game very seriously.
I know. You know the thing is too, is like because if whoever won the contest to play mini golf with Pookie, he is trying to kick their ass. Like he really is.
Well, he's gonna win.
All right, Mary wants to know, what domestic chore do you guys excel at?
I am a great cleaner sous chef, right? So when my wife is cooking, I'm the guy that's there just cleaning up as we go along, and I kick ass at it, and I don't care who knows it. And I take out the trash like a boss. Like a boss.
Kyle?
Dude, I would clean the shit out of some dishes. I'm telling you right now. I will also cook it and then clean it.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Ladies! You feeling that?
We were in Nashville when we were working on the record, and Kyle was doing a lot. There was a lot of nights of just like Kyle, spending all day making these elaborate dishes for us to have, and then he'd clean it up. Yeah. He can bring home the bacon and fry it up in a pan.
What did you guys do? And they sent out for more wine. That's what these guys did.
We did.
All right, Kristen from Melbourne, Australia, wants to know, who would you say creates the most mischief when you guys are on tour?
Dude, you guys saw him. You saw him.
That's not true.
You can hide that shit.
It's not true.
It is true.
That was unanimous right there.
Look, you people don't know me.
We do now.
Yeah, I guess me.
Yeah.
It is, because Paul gets this look on his face that it's like this impish grin, right? It's like that. And he's like, he's the guy that he'll see something across the room and go.
them what you woke up to
What?
in your room.
The crime scene?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what happened in my room the first night.
At
But
a certain part the first night, there's a room that they have back for us, which is very nice of them, and that's where we eat. I went in, I was out amongst you. Relatively drunk. And I saw a pizza and people, and I picked up a piece of pizza and I said, open your mouth. And then I would just start throwing it to see if I could catch it. I was really entertained by this apparently, so I went to Rob's room and I saw a big thing of cookies.
dude, what all that means is that I spent the night with cookies being pelted into my face because when he's drunk he's a shit shot. So he's just like winging these cookies. So now my room has just got like it looks like someone just murdered a bunch of cookies all over everywhere.
I actually watched him wing a piece of pizza into Randall's face, so I can attest to that. So that was before the cookies.
Here's the deal.
I like your matter-of-fact
If you
description
look
of
at
it. It
somebody
says,
who's that
as though you
drunk-
were removed from the situation, like apparently I was
Apparently.
throwing
If you look
food
at
at
somebody
people.
who's that drunk and he's going with a piece of pizza in his hand going, open your mouth, and there's distance.
That's on you.
If you open your mouth, that's totally on you.
It's on you.
You know what's coming.
And it was also pizza that had been sitting there for a while too, so it's kind of like, you know what I mean? There wasn't a lot of flexibility with it.
I just wanted.
It's kind of a different vibe.
And Paul gets a mean streak. We were drinking one time, and
I don't get a mean streak.
it's a fun mean streak.
I think it's funny.
We're drinking one time, and Paul comes up to me. He's standing there, and he just walks up to me and throws his beer on me. And he starts laughing hysterically. And then he goes, now give me a beer, bitch.
I gotta
That
say,
is pretty fucking legendary like that.
to Rob's credit, though, he got me a beer.
I got him a beer.
Yeah.
That is the best part of the
The
story.
amount of times that story has been reversed, I earned that.
We've done our fair share of carrying each other.
Yeah. Rob is prone to spilling things at dinner. That's I think that's what he's kind of referring to there.
I'm the
Many
clumsiest
times,
person on the face of the earth.
Wine glasses go flinging and whatnot.
All right, Richard Martos from Dallas, Texas, wants to know from each of you, who's the most famous person in your cell phone?
Probably. Yeah.
Actually, hold on.
I'm gonna go with that.
I'm gonna say probably Willie. And from Dallas, that's perfect. But yeah, I think probably Willie Nelson. I just call him Willie because I
Just
roll
made
like
somebody up.
Might have been
feel
Willie
really
Ames.
cool.
That's how I roll.
Oh, Apple computers. I think you win. Really, I think you do.
No.
I don't hang with famous people.
I agree. I think it's Rob.
Will you get back to us on that, Paulie?
I'm looking.
He's checking his messages right now.
He lives in Hollywood, so he ought to be able to come up.
That's
with
really
something.
sad too. I do. I live in Hollywood, and he is. I mean, either you're really famous or no one in Hollywood is.
Well, you just gotta get out more.
I don't go out a lot.
All right, Joyce from DC, Maryland wants to know, if you could see anyone in concert, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
The Beatles.
Dead.
The Beatles.
You're proud of yourself for that one, aren't you?
Let's see the Beatles. Dead. The Beatles. I mean, obviously, that's yeah.
Amanda Pugh from Lansing, Missouri wants to know, what is your favorite Christmas song?
Oh man, I love Christmas songs.
I'll be home for Christmas.
Yeah, that's definitely one of them. I think mine is This
Very-
Christmas, the Donny Hathaway version of This Christmas. Hey, on the
You
mistletoe.
tweeted that too.
Fairy Tale of New York by the Pogues.
Oh yeah, great one.
Which is technically not really a Christmas song, but it sort of is.
Yeah.
Oh, you wrote a Christmas song,
I
didn't you?
wrote a Christmas. I did write a Christmas song. That's not my favorite.
Sing it.
There's a lot of good ones out there. Give me a beer, bitch.
All right, Christy Day from San Antonio, Texas. Christy, wants to know, how do you decide which songs will be singles and in which order to release them?
That is a very big conversation that goes on with a lot of people. What is the single? How do we decide what's going to be a single? And wait, well, there's a second part to that question. How do we decide?
In the order.
Oh, in the order they go. You know, I mean, that's a big conversation, and a lot of times, like a great example of this is when we turned in Mad Season. Everyone was sure that the first single and what was going to be the biggest hit off the record was Black and White People.
Black and White People.
And that song never became a single. And we fought pretty hard about that because we really wanted Bent. And the label wanted Black and White People. And so that was like sort of thing, and at the end of the day, they sort of listened to what we had to say and kind of followed what we wanted to do. But like, you know, our management, Matt Serletic, like there's a lot of people, we've taken a lot of advice. But
Yeah, that's pretty much it too. You have so many people around you that you trust, and so you get everybody's opinion. And then there's ones that kind of rise to the top. Like, you know, when you have the record done, there's always like one of like 3 or 4. It's definitely going to be one of these. From that point on, it kind of dictates itself because your other radio stations start talking about songs they like, or maybe they start playing them on their own, and you start knowing, okay, we should move to this one. This one's happening. But it's never really the same way twice.
yeah.
I
No.
love my boots and no.
Never hurts to ask. Honey.
All right.
I thought you said, "Can I have your boobs?"
I thought that's what you were gonna say. That last letter was really important in that question.
Guys, boobs.
Michelle Torres from Des Moines, Iowa wants to know.
Is that you? You just like Iowa? Do you know Michelle? You're officially like the only 2 people I know from Iowa. You guys should get to know each other. Michelle, she's over here, Iowa girl.
Oh, okay. Who would you all like to collaborate on a song with? If you could collaborate with anyone, who would it be? Each of you. That's from Michelle from Iowa, in case you forgot.
That's such a hard question because there's
Yeah,
so
it really
many
is.
people that, for many different reasons. There's like,
Just you know, on the spot, come up with something.
I'd like to work with The Edge because then I could feel like Bono.
I mean, I'm a big Wilco fan, so I would love to work with Jeff Tweedy at some point. That would be awesome. But
The
yeah.
Killers. The Killers would be fun. Feels like that would be fun.
But then there's like a list of like producers and
Lionel
engineers
Richie.
and things like that. I just saw him the
I
other
know
day.
you saw him the other day.
Yeah, I don't have his number on my phone though. But he did say hello.
Hello.
And Nicole from St. Charles, Montana. That's the MO.
No, that's Missouri.
Maybe. Missouri.
Missouri.
All right. Where's the coolest place you've ever played? Pookie! Right here. Pookie!
Welcome. Did you win?
Finn from Melbourne, Australia, the big winner at Puck.
Really?
You lost.
Kid from,
See, I didn't expect
Wow,
this.
so you came in third.
no.
No?
I came in second.
You came in second? I didn't even so.
Everyone, I either tied, I tied or beat everyone. I tied or beat everyone except for young little Finn, wherever he may be.
That's pretty
I
good,
wouldn't
man.
run-
Unexpected defeat.
Pookie's a serious golfer.
He's
I had a
very serious.
penalty. I had to call a penalty on myself
I don't
because
know what
that's
that
what
means.
golf is. In golf, you keep your own score, and if you have a penalty, you have
win
to
every
assess
time.
yourself.
Really?
If I played golf, I would rock at
That's
it.
not a game for me. Okay, sorry.
It's about integrity, Paul.
Coolest place you ever
Okay,
played?
coolest place. That's pretty easy for me. The Gorge.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Seattle folks, right?
Favorite
Love that
venue,
venue.
Red
Love that
Rocks.
venue.
You know what, man? That when we played Hunter Valley in Australia, that gig in the rain. I don't know
Oh,
if you guys remember that one in the rain.
that is a career highlight.
Yeah, I had so much fun. It was pissing down rain, and we had such a good time.
And what
I had
about
that great
Jones
picture of you
Beach?
like using your guitar as an umbrella.
Jones
Yeah, that was
Beach is beautiful. I love Jones Beach.
Me too.
Jones Beach is nice.
I did a
Yeah,
lot of
they-
segueing there.
All right. New York.
Randy.
Hey, how are you? This is from Gina from Chicago, Illinois. If you could have any superhuman power in the world, what would it be?
X-ray vision.
It's funny, you know what? My daughter actually just asked me that same question. And it would be the ability to make terrible things stop. That would be my superpower. Beat that!
I just want to fly.
Superheroes, though.
To live forever. Fuck.
Superman
So that
did
would
it
suck
because he
after a while.
reversed. He made the Earth spin the other way, and that's how he did that. So that would be. Yeah. He didn't change time. Well, I'm not gonna get into it.
All right, Sarah from Grinnell, Iowa. Wants-
Another one.
She's back there. She wants to know if you guys have ever wished you could record another artist's song.
Wait, really quick. What if you had the power to go back in time like 45 seconds?
There's a movie.
That way, anytime you make a quick fuck up, you can really go back and be like, oh wait,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
That's that.
That's all you need is like 45 seconds to a minute to go back in time. Boom.
The Michelle Gondry movie. Science of Sleep, is it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like you can go back in time 7 seconds.
That would rock.
What if your fuck up was?
You know what? If I did,
46
I could go
seconds
back and not interrupt and not have to say that right now.
What was the question?
If you guys have ever wished you could record another artist's songs, which would it be and why? From Sarah from Iowa.
Hi, Sarah. I'm sure a lot of them. I mean, anything that we cover is usually based on that, right? Like it's something that we kind of love and wish you would have written.
Queensryche.
That's a lot of songs. You know, it's tough to. That would vary from moment to moment.
I like Pookie's. Obviously, it's Queensryche. Silent Cindy.
Yeah, it's such a funny thing because it's like, you know, one day, like I hear like, you know, something from like 70s era AC/DC and I'm like, I want to do that. And then the next day I hear, you know, like Harry Nilsson and I'm like, well, no, I want to do that. And you know, it's such a daily thing. It's like the, you know, who would you like to work with conversation. Like that's such a vast list of songs.
So Paul called your question stupid.
I didn't. I swear. That's cool. Just hard to answer.
Now get him a beer, bitch.
All right, Jennifer from Fort Worth, Texas. She wants to know what songs from any album of yours do you wish had been released as singles but weren't?
I will.
I will. The difference, I would say.
Maybe hand me down for me too.
I always felt that Cold could have been a single.
Wait.
I think All Your Reasons should have been released here
Yeah.
in the States.
Yeah.
Not only in Australia.
All Your Reasons. It's funny. All Your Reasons ended up being a really big hit for us in Australia, and we had no idea.
It was like the song of the year.
Yeah.
On the radio there.
But we only released it there.
2-minute song.
Yes.
No. You know what's funny? I mean, if you want it's really funny. Like when you're a kid and you want to play music and you have this idea of what you think success is, you know, and then when you're kind of on your way there, and if you're one of the few people that are fortunate enough to kind of have it, then it just becomes like, well, this is also part of your job. So being successful also means that, like, you know, I can put my son through college. You know what I mean? Like, those two things kind of can go hand in hand. I said that I can bring home the bacon.
Tandra from Spring Hill, Florida. I think I met you earlier. On the record, So Sad, So Lonely, whose voice is recorded saying, "That's lame, man," at the end of the song? And why? Tell us what's
Tell
going
us
on.
why, Pook.
Tell us why, Pook.
Because I thought it sounded like Hava Nagila. Hava Nagila, Hava Nagila, Hava.
You know what's funny? I think you're right. I totally think it does.
And that's why it was a bit late.
But Pookie's reaction to that and him saying that, it just made us laugh really hard, and we just happened to have it
They were
on.
recording it.
You know what's funny? The only reason we have audio of that is because there was a guy that literally followed us around for like 2 months, shot all this footage of which we used none of, except for that little audio clip, pretty much.
The best story about
That's
that.
what's kind of awesome. We paid this guy to follow us around.
The choir?
The
choir.
We had
Yeah.
to capture that
Dude,
moment. That was all we fucking
We
did.
did, what was the song? What was the song
We were
did?
doing
Oh,
Downfall.
So you have this choir, like a full-on gospel choir. There's like 20 of them in there, right? And they were just recording the claps and the stomps. So it's just like a... And we're sitting there, and it's this beautiful moment with this entire choir, and all I'm thinking is, thank God we have this guy to film it, because this is that moment. This is the reason why he's here, this whole thing. Then I look to my right, and he's right next to me. Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
I'm not wrong in that, right? We never used
No, you know
any of
we
that.
used.
Did we use it?
We used maybe a little bit of it. We did that. There's like a little sort of thing that Jillian did. I think we used some
So it
of
got
that.
cut into something? Okay.
Oh, in show, like then we use like some
No,
of the
no,
beat.
there's that Daresville or whatever. That's part of the show, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think some of it is in there.
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
Slightly wrong.
Oh, okay.
Isn't it out there?
No, you know
All
what?
of it? Like,
no,
how
no
much?
show isn't either.
Just a little bit,
No?
right?
It's not on. It's not on iTunes. Because it's
Oh.
the production company problem.
Oh yeah, it's not because of us.
So
We're trying to
we
figure-
kind of got our money's worth then. There you go.
Amanda from
I don't know what I'm
Pittsburgh,
talking
Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh wants to know, what is your typical daily touring schedule like while on tour?
Day-to-day touring schedule?
Depends on
Your day to day on tour. What's your schedule?
It depends on the
3 to
state of the
11.
tour.
3 to 11. We're the second shift. 3 to 11.
Basically, like our day usually starts at we'll have sound check at 3. Sometimes we'll do sound check, sometimes we won't. We do them probably more often. I mean, actually, sorry, we do them less often now than we did in the beginning. And then we'll usually have like a meet and greet or something like that, and then we'll do, go and eat dinner, and then the show sort of starts. We'd like to warm up, like when the Goos were with us, we'd sort of kind of like midway through their set. Like if you ever see us watch inside of the stage, about midway, we'd sort of leave, because we go and start, warming up and getting ready. Then you play the show, and then that's it.
Yeah, like-
but the real, I do want to take this opportunity to say, like, the guys that work for us are there, like, 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock
Yeah,
in the
let's hear
morning.
it for those guys.
We have the crew. We have the best crew ever.
And they set it up, and they tear it down, and they sleep very little, and they do this every single day, and it's it's a big thing
They're
to set
awesome.
up that show.
Almost all of them.
Sharon from Marion, Virginia wants to know, if you could collaborate with any singer, songwriter, musician from the past, who would it be?
John Lennon.
A lot of hypothetical.
I think John Lennon because I could show that guy a melody. Yeah, I apologize. I'm obviously it's so not true that it's obviously a joke. Today is, by the way, it's the anniversary of his death.
Missed an opportunity.
Did you know?
Let it be. You thought Paul McCartney missed an opportunity during the na-na part.
I'm not even going there.
Well, I'm gonna say Stevie Ray Vaughan would be kind of rad. Because he's actually one of those guys that's had a bigger influence on my life than I think he did. Stevie Ray Vaughan. And I had the opportunity to play with Double Trouble and a tribute thing, so it kind of feels like unresolved. Like, so I would have to say Stevie Ray.
You know that band from the insurance commercials? FreeCreditScore.com?
Those guys?
I want to work with those guys.
This guy's writing some catchy hooks.
We haven't had high harmonies in a while. How about Jeff Buckley?
And they can jam while they're driving. I think that's a fucking pretty solid talent.
Abby from Marion, Virginia wants to know, what is the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
In music or just in general?
In music.
Your manager works for you.
Learn the rules so that you can then break them.
It's better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Is that musical advice?
I know the
Yes.
reference for that.
Yeah.
Is that musical advice?
Sometimes.
I actually touched on this a little bit last night. Actually, the idea that when you're creating something, that it's not your job to judge it. It's you just have to create it, and then you can kind of go back and realize what it is after that. But if you're judging it as you're doing it, then you're totally ruining the process, and you're just gonna stop yourself. So that's probably the best. And you gave me that advice. Yeah.
Stephanie from Hershey, Pennsylvania. I think that's her right there.
Hey, haga.
Said, I read somewhere that you wanted to name the band Larry. Can you elaborate on that and where the name Matchbox 20 originated?
For a second it was Larry, but just because, like, the idea of, like, when somebody was talking, hey, like, what do you do? I'm in a band. What's it called? Larry. Like, what do you, like, tonight, what are you guys gonna do? Oh, we're gonna go see Larry. Larry's playing. That just seemed awesome to me.
Can you also
It was
elaborate?
better than
You know where it came
Big
from,
Shoe
though? You know where it
Spiders.
originally came from? When I used to deliver beds. I had, like, drove a bed truck and I would deliver beds to people's houses. And I did it because I thought that, like, delivering beds, it's like I'm gonna meet hot girls and they're gonna want to try out the bed with me. Never happened.
I like that.
So I delivered the beds, and there was like a little club, and it said appearing tonight, Larry. And I was just like, oh, Larry's playing. That's great. Paul made up Matchbox 20.
Yeah. There's not really a great story for it.
There isn't it?
There's a lot of stories for it. We used to make up stories all the time because the reality of it is, and we needed a name. We were throwing a lot of ideas out there, and that's just one that popped in my head. And initially, it was like passed over. No one was interested in it.
Adam really wanted us to be called Big Shoe Spiders. I mean, he really wanted it.
Yeah.
And then we were almost called Wood. We were very close to being called Wood. And
Yeah.
Twill.
Twill.
Dude, nobody's gonna buy a Twill record.
But one night, we were at a place. It was a place in Florida called the Mill, which is where I used to work there, and we used to play there a lot.
Waiter of the month.
I was. I
Who's
got
waiter of
better.
the month?
I got better at waiting. And there was like this super drunk frat dude there, and Rob goes, "Hey man," and I don't remember what the other, maybe it was Twill or whatever. Like, what band would you go see, Twill or Matchbox 20? He was like, Matchbox 20. We're like, okay, that way.
It sounds good when he yells it.
Yeah.
And then it passed what we would at the time. This is how old we are. We called it the Kurt Loder test. You know, like I can imagine Kurt Loder popping on and going, "This week, Matchbox 20 released their new." Oh, okay, yeah, that's the Kurt Loder test.
That actually
To
came
this
true.
day, when we have demos, we like to go to colleges and just play the roughs, and you know, depending on how the frat guys react is how we decide whether
That's
we're
how I make
gonna
every decision in my
proceed
life.
with
It goes out. Like
All right,
everything.
a lot of what we do-
today. Do I want eggs or oatmeal? Oatmeal.
A lot of what we do is based off of drunk frat reactions, so just some people don't necessarily realize that about it.
Gabriella from Raleigh, North Carolina
Yeah.
wants to know, what is something each of you know you do differently than most people?
Well, here I'm not gonna say it,
Yeah.
but we've known each other for a very long time, so I know certain things about each one of these guys and how they do some shit different than anybody else. But we're not gonna talk about it because even if we're throwing out the F-bomb,
This isn't an
it's still a family
expose,
mode.
kids.
I don't know.
We do different. I don't think that's for you to say about yourself.
I hold my fork. I probably hold my fork
He's doing
when
it,
I'm
guys.
eating different
He's
than
doing
most
it.
of you all.
How do other people do it?
I don't know how other people do it. Sometimes they do that, but they can't change the pitch.
Really?
They do this.
I never knew you could do that.
That's why it's a good question.
Wow.
RDU.
Is it weird that I want to sleep with you now?
I think it's just weird you said now.
Okay, moving on.
Matthew from Oshkosh wants to know.
Oshkosh?
That is it.
Oshkosh Bagosh?
Wants to
You
know,
know
out
that
of
was a
all your accomplishments, personal and professional, what would you say is your greatest accomplishment and why?
Yeah, I mean, I say it's hard to say it as an accomplishment, but I mean, my daughter would have.
You did did put a baby in.
But I mean, we all understand how that works. I didn't do much. Oh wait, hold on, no, I did awesome.
Donation.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you said it's
Yeah, right. I'm with that too.
Yeah.
It would feel wrong to put some sort of like achievement that the band had above the fact that I have 2 healthy daughters that are really intelligent, beautiful people, and
I'm most proud of Kyle's daughters.
that I've had a slight hand in raising, probably because I was so busy making Matchbox 20 music.
You have kids?
Sarah from Grinnell, Iowa wants to know if you could sum up your life with one record, what would it be? Paul Doucette.
Green from R.E.M. That was a very pinnacle record for me. It was the record that sort of where when I was a kid, when I heard that, I was like, oh, this is what I like. Up until then, I listened to the radio, kind of got music, however, and got it. But that record was like the first time I was obsessed with the record. And it's still, when I'll break it out sometimes and go like, oh yeah, bring me back to that point.
Abbey Road, absolutely. I've actually had moments where I learned all the guitar of the entire record, then I'm like, now my mission is to learn the bass parts of the entire record, and then also the drum parts. Like that's one of those obsessive records for me, so Abbey Road.
Mine is I'm not sure if it's either, my first record I ever owned was a Willie Nelson record called Greatest Hits and Some That Will Be.
That's such a great
So awesome. But then also, I gotta say, you know what was big for me? Because everything about me was that it was those 2 worlds. The other one was the Pretty in Pink soundtrack.
You know what's funny? I totally hear that. Yeah, I mean with like things like Waiting on a Train. And
That's so you guys.
Nick Kershaw, like that kind of stuff going on in there.
Jamie wants to know what 5 people from any time in history would you like to have dinner with?
5 whole people?
Yeah. Okay. Here. Jesus.
This is the we're in the
Vishnu,
imaginary
Allah.
world portion.
I want to sit down and sort all that shit out.
That one.
Alright, Stacy from Woodbridge, Illinois. Hi, Stace.
How did you get hot tub real estate? Did you guys have to get here early?
Where is your favorite place to visit when you're not on tour? A place to just visit when you go on vacation. What's your favorite place?
I hate going on vacation. When I'm I'm not even kidding. Like we tour so much that like when we're not touring, much to the people in my life's dismay, I do not want to leave town. I just
want to leave his house.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I just want to be home.
For me, I think Greece. Greece was a really magical place for me. Going to Santorini.
Not terribly far from here, Jamaica. My wife and I kind of fell in love with Jamaica, and if you haven't been, the people are just amazing. Full of wisdom and just hope and evidently when you have a lot of hope when you're high.
I love going down to the Florida Keys, which is actually just south of here, and hanging out and doing island living on island time. So it's a little bit like Jamaica.
Tandra from Spring Hill, Florida.
Are you taking credit? You're taking credit for questions that you didn't even ask, aren't you?
She's from everywhere.
3, buddy.
She's ubiquitous.
She says, what song is your favorite to do a cover of?
You know what I miss? I miss doing Jet.
Yeah, Jet was fun.
That's a lot of fun.
I always love it when we do Bowie songs too.
Yeah, for some reason, that's entertaining. We've done like 5 of them.
Yeah, I mean, what's that?
Maybe tonight you can do one of those.
Don't Let Me Down. Don't Let Me Down was fun.
Don't Let Me Down was
Don't Let
awesome.
Me Down was fun. It's one of my favorite.
That was really fun. That's my favorite.
Right now, it's the Stones. I'm having fun doing the Stones.
All right, Joni from Downey, Idaho. Joni wants to know, if you could have played the starring role in any movie ever made, who and what would you have been and why?
Dude, I want to be 1970s Luke Skywalker. I want to be Mark Hamill in like Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
You sort of used to have his hair too.
I did, because I wanted to be him when I was a kid.
I told him,
Yeah.
Christopher Reeve Superman, for sure.
I'm not a huge movie buff. I mean,
He's not- he doesn't like movies. Isn't that weird?
Tony and Scarface. Like, why the fuck not? Like, who wouldn't want to be that guy? Paul. I know he dies. I know. I get it.
There was a movie I watched on my computer. It was a very small little screen. Sort of. There was, some movie. The guy starring in that movie seemed to have a good job.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna have to watch that.
He'll get it. He'll get it.
Oh my god. Shit. Paul goes blue. Oh my god. We'll explain it to you later.
All right, Brittany.
Wow.
Brittany Scott from Dallas, Texas.
So,
Brittany Scott from
so what's your
Dallas,
porn
Texas.
name? If you,
Oh wait, it's hold on. Dutch Hillsdale.
that's awesome. Dutch Hillsdale. Porn name.
It's like your first pet in the house or the street you grew up on.
In the street that you grew up on?
I lived on a main highway. It was like Highway 301. So I'm just gonna use my dog's name. It was Bigfoot.
My porn name would have been
Sup?
Rusty Clay.
Rusty Clay.
Rusty Clay.
Like it.
Strong. Mine's Penny Hemlock.
So you're an alternative porn. Pity.
Anyway,
All right, Brittany Scott from Dallas, Texas wants to know what thoughts are going through your mind while you're on stage in front of thousands of people.
Hit the right note.
Last night I had to pee. Yeah, I really did. Because there was no bathroom. You know what's funny? We think about more than you guys have any idea. Like while we're there, we're watching you. We're watching you guys. We're seeing who's singing, who's not singing, who looks like they're having a good time, who looks like they're just texting their boyfriend. We're watching everything go on. Who's got their arms crossed? And if you're like the one guy that looks like you're not having fun, we're gonna play at you until you have fun. You know?
Quite honestly, we don't have any more control of our thoughts than you guys do. You know what I mean? So whenever you're at work and shit's just drifting, that's what's happening to us on stage sometimes.
yeah, I mean, definitely not all the time. You definitely have those moments. Like we just did Rock in Rio, and so like you go and you do that, and you just see the amount of people who are just singing along to a country that we hadn't ever been to, and a lot of people were there, and you have that moment where you're like, wow, I remember writing this song in the living room or whatever.
It's
and
funny.
then all these
In
people
my head, at moments like that, I'm just going, don't fuck up, don't fuck up, don't fuck up.
See, so I had a good moment like that, but I gotta say, like 5 minutes before that, I was watching what was happening production-wise and realizing that things weren't working and trying to get them to get. It took me out of the thing for a couple songs.
That's why I had that happen.
Yeah.
Good job.
All right, Stephanie from Cambridge wants to know. Stephanie Richards wants to know what song means the most to you personally. Stephanie from Cambridge.
For me, it's probably 3 a.m. I mean, for a few reasons. One, it's having to do with my mother who passed away, but also it being like what I consider like the first song that I ever wrote that I thought other people would want to listen to. So that's always been really special. I put it as a big special moment for me, and also like just for us as a collective. Like that was kind of our beginning direction of like, oh, this is a good song. And it would get played on like the local radio stations. You sit there all night waiting for Surfer Dave, God rest his soul, to play your song on like 106.7, like the local hour from 8 to 9, and you sit there with all your friends around the radio just waiting for that to come on. It was a good time. We love you back.
I'll actually go with that too, because I think that's the 3 a.m. is kind of the reason that when I was given a demo tape by Matt Soletic, who is our producer, I had 4 songs on it. Tired, 3 a.m., maybe like Forever December. I'm trying to think of the fourth.
Do you ever notice when you go back through all those old songs?
yeah.
I was like tired, angry,
Maybe
sad,
Dear Joe
lonely.
or something like that.
It's always in there.
But 3 a.m. was kind of the reason I was like, That's a really great song. It's like I see people wanting to hear that for years and years to come. I want to be involved in this band. Sign me up. Let's meet. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go with that personally and professionally.
Paula from Stevensville, Ontario, Canada. Paula wants to know, what is the funniest thing that's ever happened on stage?
Rob fell off once.
That was funny.
This is great. This is awesome. So like we're playing and there was an orchestra pit, and he didn't see it. So and I wasn't I was playing drums at the time, so I kind of wasn't looking at him. And I'm listening to him, I'm hearing him sing, and all of a sudden I just hear. I'm okay.
I went deep
Day,
too.
there was
I
a
went
chalk outline. Wasn't there? The next day.
Yeah, the next day.
I
I come to the next theater that we were playing, and when I get up on stage, the crew had made this like chalk outline of my body on the floor, with a little microphone in his hand.
I mean, I gotta say, a lot of funny stuff happens that like.
It's funny to us.
It's just funny. It's like there's a lot like going back to like what we're thinking about. A lot of times we're having inner conversations about maybe like continuing a joke that we've had going before. Like I always want him to try to like pick a word and slip it into a song and see if anyone will notice that he did. So like
What's
I'm
up,
always
everybody?
waiting for
Milkshake.
like those. So we laugh quite a lot.
Yeah, we have a lot of inside jokes.
A lot of funny stuff.
Usually the moments are, I don't know if you guys ever pick up on it, it's either A, right before long day, because I'm waiting like, and I'm looking at you, and I'm like, I'm gonna start, I'm not gonna start, yeah. I'm gonna start.
The only way I know Rob's gonna start singing along, we have to come in at the same time. The only way I know he's gonna start is he does this. He takes a breath in. And the whole game is, I'm gonna throw you off.
It's in my... And then there's always a moment, it seems like right before bright lights. Like I can't say the amount of times that we're like, I'll go to sit down and Paul comes over and we start like literally having a conversation, and then in the middle of it we're like, everybody's waiting for the song to start and we're just like, oh, you know what, we'll get back to this later. I think we should probably pay attention to the show instead of this conversation that we're having about where we're gonna go eat after the show.
Allie Miller from Blackpool, Lancashire, England. I think that's in a song.
Awesome.
How great is that? Wants to know, what was the song that you had the most fun recording?
That's, you remember when I
Recording's
said, I
not
like to
fun.
remember when I was talking about how we laugh a lot? Not while we're making records.
Writing. What about writing?
Writing,
Working on.
well, this record in general, I think there was a lot of mirth. You know what I mean? Like with all of us kind of hanging out in the room and coming up with these ideas and throwing ideas. Mirth.
What does that mean?
Happiness and fun and much merriment.
Awesome. I learned a word today.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, we have a lot of fun, and we definitely, like I said, we laugh a lot, but all that does happen live. When we're making a record, there's a great quote like Ben Affleck had that was like, if having fun making a movie was a requirement for making a good movie, then Cannonball Run would have been the best movie ever made. And that's making a record is kind of the same thing. It's sort of like, there's a little bit of pressure. There's a little isolating
everybody's
process.
kind of like, we come in and like you lay down the bed of a song, but then everybody's kind of in their own world. Like when they do their part, like we all come in, like sometimes we're not even there. And Paul will put in his drum part, and then do a piano part, and then we'll go away and copy the next time to guitar.
Less song oriented, but more like the Mad Season was fun because the first album was, there was a lot of pressure. As you said, we didn't really, we weren't that accustomed to the recording process and what the dynamic was, and we kind of made that quick. And then after the success of that first record, we kind of could do whatever, we could take whatever risks we wanted sonically, whatever risks we wanted recording-wise on Mad Season. So that was kind of fun. I mean,
The cabin was nice.
I think
What
we
did you think you
doesn't
are?
mean
That
we
whole
nailed
vibe.
it, but it means we had a lot of fun doing it.
Cynthia from Salem wants to know, do you... Where's she
Hey,
at?
Cynthia.
Oh, there she is. Oh, she's a music teacher.
Okay.
So, I will read it as it says. Do you remember your elementary school music teacher, and did that teacher, if you had one, excite your spirit towards music?
Yes, his name is Mr. Hill.
Yeah, absolutely. Janet Priest.
Mine was
Mr. Deuce, but it was high school. It was like ninth grade, but it was Mr. Deuce.
Yeah.
He used to
Mine's-
let me skip
mine's high
class
school.
and hide in the piano rooms in chorus and just play piano. I was like, dude, you're the coolest guy ever.
That's really cool.
He's the reason I dropped out of high school.
And mine was the reason why I went to college.
Yeah.
And you're
Absolutely. And I still see my high school music teacher. Still, he's about to retire.
I think in a lot of weird ways.
I remember meeting him recently.
Yeah.
Do you think in a lot of weird ways, like even if you don't, obviously pursue music, like the music teacher kind of has like a certain cachet at your school? Is just somebody you kind of remember?
Yep.
You know what I mean?
The art teacher.
The art teacher.
crazy
the
art teacher.
Basically
Yeah, yeah.
had this thing, like.
Was it an art teacher?
So, you're an art teacher?
Math teacher? You guys are crazy.
No one remembers you. Sorry.
Oh, wow.
Just kidding. Just kidding. Someone does.
At least not fondly.
Health teacher. Oh, yeah, you taught us about our bodies. Everybody
oh, yeah, the
remembers
PE
you.
teacher. Yeah, it's like the art teacher, the PE teacher, and the music teacher, right? You always remember PE guy.
The health teachers,
Fucking
they always
socks
get
all pulled
the
up
first
and-
time that a kid hears the word sperm and goes, hee hee.
Ellen from Flower Mound, Texas.
Flower Mound. I got family in Flower Mound. I do.
Really?
Oh, EJ, of course.
Flower Mound wants to know, is there any chance you would do a Christmas album?
Matchbox or what?
Well, Pookie's Jewish.
I totally would.
It would be a little awkward.
Yeah.
I mean,
Does it have to be
I
strictly
totally would.
Christmas? Yeah, probably not. But he might though, because dude, I swear to God, I've never met any two people on the face of the planet that love Christmas as much as him and his wife do. I mean, Christmas literally starts for them.
Except for
months-
probably me.
Oh, that's true. You're a big Christmas guy too.
Dude,
I've
Thanksgiving
actually,
night, Christmas songs come on,
if
we put
you,
the
if you
trees
jump
up,
on
we put the lights.
YouTube, there's versions of me and a buddy of mine, Mike, in my studio doing like tropical versions of like "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas" and stuff like
Is
that.
it really?
Yeah.
Honestly.
Just totally off the cuff. So I would totally do it. I think that those songs are brilliant.
I actually
Most of those
did-
songs are brilliant.
I did, besides my
melodies
Christmas,
are brilliant.
besides my
The
Christmas
chords.
song, I did a song with BB Winans called My Christmas Prayer.
I think they like it.
Because BB's awesome.
But I also realized that those songs are so overdone at this point that you're always riding the line of cheese.
I wanted to
when
do a
you do it.
record.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not.
I wanted to make a Christmas record now,
I'm
but
open to
use
that.
like "Do They Know It's Christmas" and "So This Is Christmas," but just all like more contemporary Christmas classics from like the '80s. That'd be cool. Last Christmas.
Isn't there a Motown Christmas?
Oh, there's all the dude.
Phil
The
Spector.
Phil Spector Christmas album is amazing.
Yes, it really is.
I mean, what he did.
Everybody
with
should
everything
get
on
that.
That record's amazing.
All right, Curtis from Peoria, Illinois wants to know, what has been your biggest influence on Matchbox 20 music?
What's been our biggest influence on Matchbox 20 music?
Well, the Beatles.
Rob-
That's
people-
impossible to say.
I mean, the Beatles are the one common thread that everybody gravitates to every time that we start talking about, because it's all about songs. You know what I mean? It's about great songs.
I don't think you could name something that I don't actually respect or listen to. So it's pretty tough for me to narrow it down to one thing.
Yeah, same deal.
To me, like we have this conversation a lot about like when we're making albums that our records, Paul and I particularly, that our records can sometimes be disjointed in the sense that from song to song we kind of hop around a lot of different genres, and regardless of what the way the song's written, like the arrangements kind of dabble in a little bit of this and like something else, another flavor kind of pops in, and I like that. I think that's what kind of keeps it interesting for me. Like I wouldn't sit at home and just listen to one thing. That's why I don't listen to Pandora and all that kind of shit, because I don't want something to feed me what it thinks that I want to listen to all the time. I want to be the one to go.
We,
I
what we
want to
do on
listen
the
to
bus.
Ravi Shankar right now because I want to like get out of my own head and find something.
What we
different.
do on the bus, which is a lot of fun, when we go to UK and we're all on one bus, and so we play the iPod game, and like I'll take Paul's iPod, he takes mine. We all switch iPods, and then you take turns playing songs off of the other person's playlist, and drinking.
And drinking.
Lots of drinking.
All right, Amanda from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Hey, my hometown.
Wants to know,
Hey, really quick, little piece of trivia. Have you guys seen the movie Kingpin?
Oh, this is awesome.
Do you remember that shitty little house that he lived in the beginning of the movie that he had to? That was Paul's house.
Wow.
That was
Actual
my
house.
literal, no, it's an apartment. It was literally my very first apartment. It was what they used. I mean, it was What you saw is what it was like. But yeah, it's my actual first apartment that used to have.
Amanda, she wants to know, what most inspires you to write new songs?
Wanting to write a better one.
Life.
Yeah, I mean, there's never. I mean, sometimes I read a book and there's something in it that inspires me. And sometimes you see a film, or sometimes you hear another song that makes you think that's so good. I got to go write something that makes me feel good. You know. And when you write, it's funny because there's something about that moment that you create a song and you feel in that moment like the most creative person on the face of the earth. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, this is. And then as soon as it's done, I feel like a hack. And I feel like everything I do is shit. And then until I write something else, and I'm like, oh, I'm writing again. You know.
And there's that feeling too, like when we get like if you listen to a song, you're just like the way this you know a song that you love can affect you. Like I know for us, like when we hear that song, we're like, I want to be able to do that so bad. So you just go and that sort of inspires you to go like, I'm gonna sit at the piano and see if I can come up with something like that. And you almost never do because that would never actually you never do because that'll never be that to us. You know what I mean? Like how a Harry Nilsson song makes me feel. I'm never gonna write a song that makes me feel like that.
Well, think about like, it's kind of interesting, you know, like when we all say that a song gets stuck in our head, right? And you're in the middle of the night and you're laying in your bed. There's something kind of fascinating about that. Like, if something appears in your head, you're actually visualizing, you're hearing something that actually doesn't exist in that moment. Your brain is reconstructing something. So I think as writers, that happens to us. Like sometimes something appears in our brain and we're hearing it and then we realize, oh, that's actually not something that I've heard before. It's something that I need to get out, I need to record. If you really think about it, it's kind of fascinating because it's like our brain has the ability to sort of create something that isn't actually existing in the moment. It sort of like copies it and then later on decides to just pop up again.
I get that feeling every now and then after all these years because I'll have like a piece of music that's in my head and I'm like, oh, that sounds really cool. I want to write something like that, and then I'll be like, oh, that's our song. It's like, oh, that's from Mad Season. I forgot, you know.
All right, guys, I think this has been great, and this is our last question of the night. I've run out of cards. I haven't run out of time.
Guys, we want to say thank you so much. Randall is one of our very dear friends for many, many years. He's helped us out on this so much.
I don't do this.
This isn't his gig.
Says Joanne from Niagara Falls, Canada. There she is. She wants to know, what is on your guys' bucket list? Unfulfilled. Unbucketed.
I'm going to say something very shallow.
Just stop at that.
I would like to see us in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
On that line, I'd like to see us get a Grammy.
I feel like they've started a theme. I was going to say nothing related to the band, but
I wanted to be on a boat, and now I check.
hey man, some are saying I'd like to see us do the cover of Rolling Stone. It kind of pisses me off that they won't put us on there. Ignore us.
Album of the year.
That's not really my bucket list, though.
No.
You know what I mean? It depends, like professional bucket list or personal bucket list.
Personal.
What's your personal?
I mean, I to see like the pyramids and the Great Wall of China and some of those, you know what I mean? Like just kind of some of the wonders of like Easter Island. Right. Some of the, you know what I mean? Like
I
some
remember
of those things I have not actually been to physically see. I feel like I would kind of like.
I remember we saw Stonehenge, and we literally, it was like we were so excited we were gonna go see Stonehenge, but we had been up drinking all night because we were driving through, and the bus just kind of pulled over, and it was like 4 in the morning. They're like, "Hey, we're here," and I opened up and looked out the window. I was like, "All right, there it is. I'm good. Let's go."
I was so that way too. I know. I remember the moment. I remember the moment very well.
Like Clark Griswold at the Grand Canyon.
Well, but our lives get so, we get so busy, and sometimes we realize that there is like these voids that are kind of there. Like we spend so much time, like I have a lot, we have a lot, but some of those things are important. Like being able to see some things that are so ancient on this planet.
That Bangkok trip, man, that was one of the most beautiful moments of my life, doing the canals in Bangkok. Like, that was awesome. Going to play Rock in Rio, like, that was one of those things that was just amazing.
Paul and I kind of janked it in the hotel, and were sick or something. I don't know. We didn't.
All right,
take
they're-
part
Yeah, I
in it.
didn't feel good.
I'm getting to wrap it up. We'll see Group A tonight. And seriously, guys, this is a collection of some people that have just been so good to us for such a very long time, and we love you so much for that. Thank you for everything.
Thank you. Did everybody have an awesome time on this cruise?
Thank you guys so much for everything over the years. All right. Much love. Much love.